Africans feel liberated anytime military takes over.
So my country people are so rock on fire, big tension. Tinubu dey under tension because of this recent coup wey happen for Ivory Coast. The guy, he don't already come out to condemn am, as in he speak many grammar. No one begin born out with all those story. But guys, my people, even Nigerians are so happy that they say, God, when you go be Nigeria own, God, I beg go, make this kind thing happen for Nigeria. But sorry to burst on a bubble, so I want boss Nigerians bubbles. Who want plan coup for Nigeria? It no go possible. Now the small protest where they say make our people come protest, youth come out say make they come protest for the small one. Then immediately you go see the way police, army go they shoot them. Now them you won't expect me they come begin plan coup. That one no go possible. So for those of you where they say planning of coup in Nigeria will work out, guys, I just they bought on our bubbles ahead of time. Now this Nigerian police, I mean, they don't expect me to come plan coup for them. It no go possible. And apart from that one, Nigerians, we don't speak with one voice. That is it. We don't speak with one voice. A lot of Nigerians have reacted to it. Some they pray, God, I beg, make this kind of thing happen. But according to BV1, he said this kind of thing can never happen because Nigeria no be that kind of place. We are not wired for it. When it don't happen many years ago, that one don't pass, so it has stay. Nana, the only way, the only option is our vote. Number one, let's fight for electoral reform. That is the only way we can get the change we are praying for. Let's fight for electoral reform. Make sure say every process they transparent. Let's fight for transparent election. And all of us we come out to vote, cast our vote, and defend our vote. This one be said that they talk say it be like say they won't vote without PVC or not. Let's say no to it. As in, all these few politicians, they are not bigger than millions of Nigerians. At times, when I say these people, they decamp, defect from one party to the other, I wonder, these guys are just few among Nigerians. I always say Nigerians will try to forget this issue of this mentality of being paid before we vote or support people because of the money we won't get from them. If Nigerians should stop from that mentality, you go say inside this same Nigerian, things go really work out well. Make we check out what happened for 2023, where many Nigerians, because I know many Nigerians, they came out to vote. All the obedient Labour Party, they were voting. Majority of them were voting, not because they were being paid to vote. They were voting from their mind. They see waiting happen. Despite the fact that some people still decide to collect money to vote. Imagine those ones that were collect money to vote, decide not to collect that money and really come out to vote. Make una see what we go fit achieve. Yes, we know at times when we don't see what they happen for this country, we don't say no hope for this country. But really, there is hope for this country. Make we never lose hope. So my country people, let me drop those videos for you guys to watch. And please, after watching, help me to drop your comments, your thoughts concerning this in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And also, please help me to subscribe to my channel. Subscription is for free, just for you to be getting updates as we are dropping our news.
This one, everybody is posting Ivory Coast, Ivory Coast.
On est fatigué de la situation dans laquelle nous sommes. On est fatigué parce que le marché coûte cher. On est fatigué parce que nos enfants ne travaillent pas. On est fatigué parce que nous, les mamans, nous n'en pouvons plus. La situation du pays, nos enfants sont sous l'emprise de la drogue.
And I can see many Nigerians asking God when it will be their own turn. The coup that happened in Ivory Coast is much celebrated. Why is the question? Africans feel liberated anytime military takes over. The mon général Mamadi Monaba fait Katia Doumbouya. Il est arrivé, c'est aujourd'hui. Regardez, mon général est là. Mon général est là. Mon général est là. L'arrivée de mon général Mamadi Monaba fait Katia Doumbouya. Mon général Mamadi. Mon général. Mon général. Mon général Mamadi Monaba fait Katia Doumbouya. Fait Katia Doumbouya. Et à le départ, tout le monde, ils sont engagés, ils sont prêts, ils sont prêts. Il est venu, il est venu, il est là, il est là. Mon général est là, mon général est là, il est là, il est là. Mon général est là, il est là, il est là, il est venu. Le général des généraux, le président des présidents, c'est le meilleur président au monde, meilleur président au monde. Bien présent au monde, mon général Mamadi Monaba Fekasa Doumbouya. Eh mon général, mon général, mon général, on est là, on est là, on t'accompagne, mon général Amara, mon général Amara, il connaît, qui va quitter, Ousmane Doumbouya, on est là, Moukapa Mourana Souma. Ah, la Jalagawara, on est là, on l'accompagne, Mourana Souma, on est là, il est là, il est prêt, il sort, il est là, il est prêt. And you can be rest assured why they are celebrating. The top on the matter is corruption and impunity among many political class in Africa. As it were, the Ivory Coast just experienced their turn. And I think and believe that it is a bloody coup, which do not go down well. For me, and every well-meaning African or citizen of any country to have violent takeover of power. But what can we say? After all, the Bible says the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and only the violent taketh it by force. Because you don't choke many Africans. I am not here to justify military takeover or violent or bloody coup. I am not an advocate of coup. I am an advocate of good governance. And when the people cannot get good governance from their country, from their political leaders, this is the result. And what is happening in Burkina Faso has been inspiring many Africans. And I believe by now, Asorok must have been bedwetting. Only you understand what I mean. And to whom Nigerians, some of you, who are still thinking that coup will happen in Nigeria, let me bust your bubble a little bit.
Transaction successfully completed. Nigerian police.
You see that? You see that? These are the people you are expecting. They are colleagues in the military to do coup for you people. It will be from frying pan to fire. Let me talk. Nigeria is so corrupt. The system is so corrupt that even the military hierarchy, anyway, we don't expect coup from military hierarchy. The lower cadres in the military that usually carry out military coup, I can tell you, in Nigerian case, they are on the street cashing out. Like this police officer. Everybody to your tent. Everybody to your shop. You get to the point now. There is no ideology that is driving any of them to the point of carrying out a coup. So everyone, they don't settle everybody. So they your own day. They your own corner. They collect what they collect. The rule remain the same. The rule of the jungle. Eat or get eaten. If you see who you can eat, eat. There is no consequence. That is why you see people dying of police or military brutality. Nobody cares about it. That is why they will be on the streets extorting money from the people. Are they the people you are expecting to carry out coup? Check the history of coups. It is driven by those who are, who carry the burden of good governance. They want to change the narrative. They are ideologically driven. What is driving the Nigerian military personnel from the lower cadre to the highest guardian. So those of you thinking about military coup in Nigeria, forget about it. You have only one option, the ballot. Ballot revolution is what will work in Nigeria. I know some of you will say, the one that you did in 2023, what happened? It is testing the microphone. If you understand the impact that 2023 election made coming from the ballot revolution we triggered, if you understand what happened, you will add a little more effort to retire this political class. Because we still have some element of news among the Nigerians who are always readily available for politicians to use them during election, to carry ballot box, to write election results, to do all manner of shenanigans, including your security apparatus, the police and the army, who you expect to carry out the coup. They are the ones working earnestly to recycle corrupt politicians. But if you understand that, despite all their wuru-wuru, Jagaban lost his state. Despite all their wuru-wuru and P2B not having any structure of impunity, while APC and PDP were busy scrabbling for P2B's vote or Labour Party's vote, splitting same to themselves, they still had almost the same score, winning the same number of states. The only thing we need now is to add a little bit fire to what happened in 2023. And with the rest of Nigerians who were blindfolded by a milocon, by it is their turn, and by ethnic and religious bigotry of Muslim ticket, by now, una sense don't clear small. Let's bring them to the fold, add them to the pressure. And I can tell you, just like they are all gathering together under one party.
I just need to tell those ones saying one party system is no good. It's one party ruling and driving the aspiration of Nigerians. I'm glad of what we have, and I'm expecting more to come. That is the game.
It is good so that we can retire them once and for all. That is the only thing that can work in Nigeria. But if you think about coup in Nigeria, it will be from frying pan to fire.
Where is the Ivory Coast president? There have been grappling reports of potential military coup with conflicting reports regarding the whereabouts of the country's president. Unverified claims are suggesting that the president had either been kidnapped, killed, or he had fled the country to a neighboring country as the uprising escalated in Ivory Coast. The uprising began on the 19th of May 2025 and gradually escalated violently on May 20th, during which the army chief, the country's army chief, was allegedly shot and he later died in the hospital. There are also claims that hundreds of soldiers, including some French forces, were killed in the presidential palace, allegedly. These are all claims, nothing is confirmed, okay? However, there are conflicting reports that no coup has occurred in the country and that the country's president remains in power, preparing for the October election in 2025. Please, which is which? What is what? That is the question. That is the question Big Shy is asking. Like I said, we don't have any verified information as of the time I was making this video. Today, the 22nd of May, 2025. Everything is based on speculation, the words of mouth, and what we're seeing on social media. Nothing had officially been confirmed. Where is the president of Ivory Coast? That should answer the question, shouldn't it? Finally, it baffled me that some people claiming to be Ivorian are leaving comment that there are no violence happening in Ivory Coast or no uprising happening in the country. But then we see other Ivorians posting videos of riot, uprising, and militaries all over the capital city of the country. I'm confused, as most of you out there are. So what do we believe? Who do we believe? Again, where is the Ivorian president? That should answer the question. The guy is nowhere to be found. No official statement has been made. The president has refused to show his face on TV or anywhere. Nobody knows what is going on. There are rumors that the president had either been killed, captured, or he had fled the country. There are rumors that the army chief was shot and died at the hospital. There are rumors that a lot of military forces were killed, including about 60 French forces. All of this is quiet. We're not hearing anything. Nothing is coming or going out from the country. I mean, in terms of communication, we cannot verify anything. Everything is based on speculation, the words of mouth, and what we are seeing across social media. So, please, this information I've given you today, based on the fact that a possible coup has taken place, could be wrong. Okay? That is why I'm not stating anything. That is why I'm not 100% telling you it is what it is. It is not, because everything so far so good is based on speculation.
Okay, so someone reached out to me and he was like, why are you so fixated on Burkina Faso and the Sahel region, Joe? Why don't you just talk about Nigeria? So much is going on in Nigeria. And I was like, what am I going to talk about Nigeria? Nobody wants to identify with failures. Nigeria is a gigantic failure, massive failure. Not to the West African region, but to the entire black race. Nigeria is the giant that would have been that never was. Nigeria is a prayer point to all of us Africans today who wish the best for motherland. I don't like dwelling on Nigeria because it breaks my heart and draws tears from my eyes. I would rather focus on the guys who have given me a sense of value and belonging as an African, and that is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic. So that's why I focus on those people. That's why I'm very emotionally involved in what is going on there. You see, President Donald J. Trump just came from visiting Qatar. Trump has a lot of followers in Africa, but I can bet you that Trump is never going to visit Africa. What is he coming to visit Africa for? What do you have for him? They look at Qatar, a nation of less than 3 million people. Just because they have full and absolute control of their natural resources, much of which is natural gas. Qatar did not go to Trump. Trump went to Qatar. And before he went to Qatar, Qatar played like the big boys. Sent him a plane to replace his Air Force One, a much bigger one, a much more expensive one. On top of that, they pledged him to buy about 200 Boeing aircrafts. And by the time Trump was leaving, he said, at the end of the day, the economic exchange between America and Qatar is going to amount to about $1.2 trillion. One tiny little nation in the Gulf region. Qatar has about 843 trillion cubic feet proven natural gas reserve and about 25.2 billion barrels of oil, making them the 13th biggest oil exporter in the world. Nigeria has 37.28 billion barrels of oil. And I can bet my life that the figure I'm giving you now, which is official, is not the real one. There's got to be more, but it is 37.28 billion barrels of oil, making it about the 6th or 5th largest exporter in the world. Nigeria has one state in eastern Nigeria alone, Imo State, out of 36 states, one state that has over 200 trillion cubic feet of gas, proven natural gas reserve. Over 200 trillion cubic feet. Quote me anytime, any day. In Imo State, eastern Nigeria, the same Imo State has over 163 oil wells. In fact, in Imo River Basin, they produce both natural gas and oil. Just one Imo state in Nigeria. But Nigeria is ranked amongst the poorest nation on earth. Nigeria just won a trophy as the nation with the poorest set of children on this earth. And they're not saying in Africa or in West Africa, on earth, in the whole world. Tell me. No, let's face the fact. How on earth should this be? If the figure of over 200 trillion cubic feet of gas in Imo State is just official, imagine what the original figure is. Tell me why anyone. And in Qatar, go and read this up. Qatar, actually what is making them is not even the oil, it is the natural gas they have that they sell the most. That's what gives them almost all the money they have, with which they've turned their country into a living heaven. But here we are. Why? Because we have been told that we can't control what God gave us. It breaks my heart. It's why I don't want to talk about Nigeria. Why I hate, it's a drag for me to talk about Nigeria. You see, today, Becky Anderson was speaking on CNN, and she referred to the nations in the Gulf region as sovereign wealthy or sovereign rich nations. You see, we are rich in Africa, but we are not sovereign. We don't have our sovereignty. We don't have our power. Someone else is in charge of what God has blessed us with. Someone else has control over our own sovereign wealth and our sovereignty as a people. This is why I'm very emotional when I talk about Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, when I talk about Assimi Goïta in Mali, when I talk about Abdurrahmane Tchiani in Niger Republic. This is why. Because for the first time in living memory, we see Africa assuming control over its own destiny. We are not in control of our destiny for the first time. I spoke about this since 2015, 16, 17, 19, and people laughed at me like it was never going to be possible. It's happening in my lifetime. I said it will happen in my lifetime. Why would I leave that and talk about a failure that has continued to sink and sink deeper and deeper and deeper? God bless Ibrahim Traore and all these revolutionaries out there. And mark my words, I don't know who I am really sometimes, but for some reason when I say something, they just happen. I'm going to say another one. You see what has happened in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali? It's going to touch almost every part of Africa, one way or another. I know the colonials are so scared right now, scared to death. I know they've been throwing up all kinds of fake revolutions for us. You see how they did it in Gabon. All of a sudden, boom! People started rejoicing. And I made a post that said, no. Don't pay attention to that. That's not the real revolution. If you want to see proper revolution, look out for the guys who are kicking out IMF and World Bank. Look out for the guys who are nationalizing their oil and natural resources wealth and using the money from there to take care of their citizens. Look out for the guys who are kicking out boots, foreign boots on ground. Look out for the guys who are telling their lawyers to remove that white hair and put on African attire as a lawyer. Look out for the people who are naturally Pan-Africanists, not people who are faking on behalf of the colonial powers. We know what true revolution feels like. We know what it looks like. We know what it sounds like. You cannot deceive us with fake revolutions across the continent. By just sending French troops out, then you want us to believe that you are a revolutionary. No, you're not. Manuscript for colonization. There's also a blueprint and a manuscript for decolonization. And that's what our brothers are using to decolonize the minds of the people in the Sahel region. So when you want to know who is a true revolutionary, check out and look what they're doing. Not people who are still in partnership with the corporations of the colonial masters, through which they control the continent of Africa and make us believe that our problem comes from Africa and not from them. No, they are our problem. Yes, there are collaborators on the continent with them, just as we had during the days of slavery, but they are the principal problem. Remember how they used to tell us that, oh, Africans are the problem of Africa. But today we have Ibrahim Traore. To prove them wrong, they've tried to kill him so many times. Only God knows how many times they've tried to kill Assimi Goïta. Only God knows how many times they've tried to kill Chani of Niger Republic. These are Africans who want to prove you wrong, that we will not always go along with the dictates of the colonial powers. Why not leave them alone? Let's see if Africans are always going to be foolish. We know what is good for our people. And this revolution that has started in the Sahel will touch every single spot on the continent of Africa, God willing. So this is why I'm emotionally attached to Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic, and the Sahelian brothers who are leading this revolution to set Mother Africa free from the shackles of colonial and neo-colonial enslavement.